Hi, my name is Amy, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. So, tonight, I would really like to talk about something that happened today. Um, just so that you're aware, when I was laid off in January 2023, I decided to move to my parents' sheep farm. And what we did today was the local university had a employee come out and to give us his opinion on our pasture and how we can do what we can do to correct some weeds and what we should do about our livestock. And it was earlier this year that it was the first time because they've only been doing this business for less than 5 years. And so this last batch of lambs was the first time that they had a lot of lambs. What we're talking, we had 21 ewes, and then we had about 40 lambs. So there were a lot of things on this property, a lot of lambs. And what my dad did was just take them all in the trailer, chose one auction on reputation without doing much research, took it to the auction, and they only got $40 per head of sheep. And they were expecting $150 per head of sheep. And so that they've been in a tailspin. And so what my opinion is on this is don't get into farming. It is a bad financial decision. It's not profitable in the way that you would think, or at least as profitable as one would hope. Um, you can see YouTubers and you can make farming profitable on about 5 acres of land if you do intensive greenhouse and hydroponics and stuff like that. But it takes a lot of work. Like, you have to go to the fresh markets and you have to go to the grocery stores and get their pricings and restaurants and market and market and market. And so when I was told that it would be $150 for auction, but you can get, you know, $200 if you did it on a private sale, I was not motivated to invite strangers onto our farm just to get an extra $50, but $40. But the difference between $40 and $200 is much more. So I would be much more inclined to help with the marketing and to get, you know, uh, farm to table. People like getting local meat. And there are ways, and most of the time with animals and farming, because you can only fit so many animals without it being like you can do the shitty commercial farming where they're all in stalls all day, you feed them nothing but grain, but that's not what we want to do. We want to have the natural earth, they graze the grass, and then we give them the minimum amount of minerals and vaccines and whatever, just as natural as possible. Um, so there's only so many animals you can have. So um, with animals, you want to have like 200 acres, 400 acres, 1,000 acres. We only have 20 acres, which kind of limits the number of animals. But the thing that you do in that case, at least if you are young and you want to start a homestead and this is your actual business, is you find ways to monetize off of everything for the animal. So, do you get a wool sheep? That way you can clean the wool and um, card it and make it into yarn and then sell the yarn. And then when they get old, you sell them for meat. Um, do you lamb them and sell the lambs as meat sheep and get money that way? Do you get their milk and make soap? Do you only have a few of them and the rest of it is a vegetable garden? You could make, make a flower business, microgreens. There are ways, but with businesses, you have to market. You have to have the pipeline in place. Start small. Don't invest too much time into it until you've gotten a way to sell things. And I don't know if this fits the theme of my channel, but in my opinion, my time specifically is better spent trying to invest in the stock market. And I never have to take Yield Max to the vet. I never, have to try to sell it. The market does fluctuate. Like if you're taking your stock to auction when you're trying to sell it, and some days it's minus 20%, and sometimes you get plus 4%. And it's all about market timing. But you know what? My stocks aren't gonna need to be winterized. They can stay, and they can just be in my portfolio, and they're not gonna harm anything. There's no maintenance. Well, that's not true that there's no maintenance, but the maintenance is just putting more money in. Anyways, I'm just saying that most people romanticize farming and that it's not as profitable as you'd think. It's actually like most farmers have to have a day job. But if you're really motivated and you really want to do it, I'm not going to stop you. But for most people, if you just invest in the stock market and then, buy a house where you can have a big garden, that's probably what you want to do. So, yeah, thank you for letting me talk through this. And please don't get a farm because you think it's going to be profitable, and gamble in the